Susie also puts this on Facebook. And good morning, everybody. We are recording. I feel like we're in a studio. It's Catherine Hanson and Ivy Nakins here. We are the Profitable Salon Owner. And our mission, of course, is to get salon owners profitable fast.
Yes, it is.
And we are the two blondes with passion. And you can see right there from this fabulous photo of ourselves that's getting very dated that we are holding up our book. Because, of course, now we are authors.
Yes, we are.
The Secrets of the Profitable Salon Owner, 7 Essential Strategies to Transform Your Salon Business. And we are here today for Vagaro Salon Software, which we are such a huge fan of, to talk about another business idea.
Yeah, well, actually.
And, Catherine, why don't you tell people a little bit about why we decided to do Cash is King at this time of the year?
Yeah, well, cash is king, and as it says, strategies to inject cash into your business now. And one of the things, like we talk to salons every day of the week, and one thing that we've noticed, and it happens actually, it's interesting, Aileen, because it happens at this time of the year every year.
It absolutely.
Especially, I'm talking for the people in North America, it may be different, so over in Australia or some
Europe
of those other places,
yeah.
Because, different seasons. But
the run up to Christmas, October, surprisingly, tends to be very slow,
right?
very
and
quiet.
We've heard that from a lot of our salons lately. It's been a little slower. First couple of weeks in November, same thing, leading up to, particularly in the States, your Thanksgiving, because I think in a lot of ways that's a bigger holiday than sometimes Christmas.
For sure.
Especially for us and our business. So what we've been hearing is that cash flow is a little bit tight right now. So what we thought we'd do in this business webinar would be to give you some strategies to inject cash into your business now, because oftentimes when you're in the forest, you can't see the forest for the trees.
That's
like,
true.
Where are we going? How are we going to increase our cash flow? Where are we going to, look? And we want to give you some good, solid strategies that can be implemented this week.
Exactly. Like you can do it right now to find out where your cash is. And, here's one of the things that Kath and I talk about a lot is that, when all of a sudden money is tight, we want to zipper everything up and don't do this and don't do that because money is tight. But the thing is that is often the time when you have to step outside your box and do something really creative to get the business going and to get the cash in the door.
Yeah, and sometimes you just have to loosen the purse strings a little bit. We're very fortunate now. We are able to do some marketing and not spend a lot of money. But you have to be creative. And guess what? We are creative people.
Exactly.
So use your creativity, maybe not on somebody's head or, in your treatment room, but use your creativity to increase your business. So We'll get right into it. And here's the gold mine.
Da-da-da-da-da-da. Existing customers are an absolute gold mine. And I think, we talk about this probably in every single webinar and business class that we teach, but your customers are a gold mine. And one of the gold mines that you have is the Vagaro Salon Software Program, because here is a way that you collect all the information. And, it is interesting, though, and I do have to say it, Kath, because so many times we talk to salon owners or stylists or chair renters and say, well, how many clients have you got on your list? And they say, what list?
Yeah,
or something along that line of, I've got phone numbers on the appointment book or whatever.
Wrong, not good enough.
Not good enough. You must get a list of your current clients and keep it in your computer.
And keep it as current as you possibly can. Yes, I know that, people have privacy issues. Yes, I know people, sometimes don't want you to email them. However, if they are a really good customer, they do want you to reach out and touch them. So make sure that you have that list, because really your list is everything. That is going to create money for you walking in the door.
Exactly, because just think about this from an individual point of view. Like, Catherine, if you were my client and I think about how much money you spend in my business with me every year, that has huge value. But if I can't reach out and connect with you, how do I make sure that, that I know you're going to come back or that I have something to offer you? If I haven't got some way to reach out to touch you, then you know what? You're not really my client. You're what we call a floater.
Yeah. So, and we talk about this a lot, but I mean, just know that right today, when you leave this, you can go on your Vagaro system and you can print out a list of your existing customers and then take some ideas from what we're going to share with you in the next little bit and figure out how you can grow your cash flow in the next month. Because trust me, if you do even 3 of the things that we talk about on this webinar today, I guarantee you will increase your cash flow that's coming in. So the first thing I would do with my existing customers is create a special offer or promotion. Something a little bit different that you may have done in the past. Look at what some of your really what some of your popular services are and bundle them with something that may not be quite so popular.
Absolutely, and that's really easy to do. You think about it, and again, you can use your Vagaro system to find out what it is that is your number one services or your number one product. There's all sorts of ways you can bundle services with products. You can bundle services with services or products with products. I mean, honestly, creativity-wise, the world is your oyster here.
Yeah. And so let's talk about tomorrow. In my own salon tomorrow, we took what is really a negative for us because it's a day that we really need to be closed unless we want to pay time and a half out to all of our service providers, and we have a lot of them. We can be open after 1 o'clock on Remembrance Day. So a few years ago, I looked at it and said, how can we turn this into a positive? Mm-hmm. So we decided that we would do a client event in the afternoon on November the 11th every year. And we've done it now for the last, I think, 4 or 5 years. Mm-hmm. And it is a great day. So it's a day that we went from doing no dollars to a day that we, usually do $20,000 to $22,000. And we do that in a few hours.
Back up. Repeat that number, please. In a couple of hours, you brought in what?
We usually do between $20,000 and $22,000.
Okay.
And most of the time, we do it with just the owners. So there are 5 of us. I will not be there this year, but there are 4 other owners, and we do have a couple of the other staff that volunteer their time to come in. So basically, tomorrow, our big thing tomorrow is for 1 day only. You'll notice on the slide I have said create scarcity.
Exactly.
So
what does that mean?
For 1 day only,
yes,
we are buy 3 gift cards, get the 4th one free.
And I mean, that is so powerful because you do it with different denominations. So if they buy 3 $50 gift cards, they get the 4th one for free. If they buy 3 $100 gift cards, they get the 4th one free. So the client is amazing. But you got to really think about what this does. Not only do you get cash in your pocket right now, you also tie up that client and their availability to any other business. You tie them up.
Yeah.
They're not going to go anywhere else.
And the other thing is, a lot of our clients, like we have one lady who's a lawyer. She comes in every year and she buys for her whole staff. So, if she buys 4 $100 gift cards, if she buys 3, she gets the 4th one free. So she may buy 6 of them and get 2 free.
Right.
But guess what? That's creating cash in the door today. And we know that we have future business.
And, and think about the expanding business that you get from that, because if somebody does come in and buys them to give them away at Christmas time, you are possibly getting another new client out of it as well. So, I mean, it's just sort of layering. It's just a phenomenal opportunity to layer.
Have any of you listening tried that particular tactic? I'd just be interested to know, because I think it's a really powerful one. And then, we do one day only. And then usually one other day before Christmas, we put it on again for one day. So we usually will have it a couple of times.
Oh, and Susie, thank you. Vagaro is also selling plastic gift cards if you are at all interested in the gift cards. And I'd forgotten about that, Susie. That was such a great post that I saw, because it's seamless. It's done for you. It's just so easy.
Yeah, and they are really in a lot of situations actually nicer than the written out paper ones.
Yes, so, exactly.
And we put ours in a nice little presentation so that it looks a little special.
Yeah, but I love also the create scarcity, because when people think that there's less of something available, they're far more likely to go out and get it. Like when we're doing special promotions that we're advertising, we like to say things like, oh, only 27 available.
Yeah. And what's interesting about this is not last year, the year before, we had a snowstorm overnight, the day of our event. And it was so interesting because we had less people who actually showed up, but they stayed longer and spent more money.
That's fantastic.
So there's just, you can do that tomorrow and you could have instant cash in the door.
And I do also want to mention something here, because one of the things that I love about gift certificates is that people actually end up spending more money when they've got gift certificates, because when they've got them in their hands, it's like free money. So, now all of a sudden they'll spend more money on products, etc., because often when it's almost like it's found money.
Yeah.
Right?
That's true.
So we do find that people spend more money when they've got gift certificates. So I just wanted to throw that out there to you.
There you have it. So moving on. Create a product blowout. I'm going to let you take this one, Aileen. You love products.
I do. I am the product queen. And not that I use it all, but I love selling it. I just think products are amazing. I really believe in the professional salon product. But here's often what Catherine and I say. And of course, as we said, we're in and out of salons day in and day out. And one of our pet peeves is going into the back room, or actually even on the retail shelf, and we see product everywhere that's not moving. And when you understand that so much of your product is sitting on your retail shelves and in your inventory in the back room, it is extremely frustrating for us, because we want to shake somebody.
Well, you wanted them to sell it, because
exactly.
There's dollars
right?
tied up on the shelf if you're not selling.
So today, tomorrow, whatever, go over to your shelves and in your back room. Every single product that hasn't sold in the past 2 months, get it out, bring it into the front room, and start putting together products into like a duo. And create yourself a promotional center. Make it great prices and blow it out the door, because believe me, it isn't earning you any money by sitting on the shelf and trying to look pretty. In fact, it's probably collecting dust.
And that's the one thing, I've always, as a consultant, I've always tried to teach people is that you should always have somewhere in your front area, or somewhere where, very obvious, a promotion center, so that you can put your slow movers on that table. And usually started out, maybe giving 20-25% off, or you can bundle it with other things, but always have that where it's visible to people coming in the door or as they're leaving, because you want to get that product off the shelf. It's not doing anybody any favors. And sitting there. And again, one of the biggest mistakes that we make in our industry too is because I really don't believe that we're good retailers. I don't believe we're good merchandisers. I mean, just as a general rule of thumb, maybe you're very good at it, but as a general rule of thumb, I don't think we do a particularly good job of it. And one of the things that I learned from Campbell's Soup was that it actually takes 18 pieces of a product to really, in a display, to really sell one. And that's always really stuck with me.
And in the years of selling Sebastian Shaper hairspray, which of course is one of the biggest selling hairsprays in the world, is we used to say, stack 'em high and watch 'em fly. Because if you build a display and make people think that there's a lot, they are far more likely to purchase something than if you've only got one or two looking lonely on a shelf.
Yeah, so if you only have one or two looking lonely on a shelf, bundle it, get it out the door.
Absolutely. You know? Get your product moving.
Yeah, really, if you don't sell something and you only have one sitting on a shelf, like, why are you carrying it?
Yeah, and there's all sorts of tricky ways to make it look like you've got more product than you do to sell the one that you've got. So get creative, make it look like it's something. Go out and look at what other retailers are doing to create great displays.
Yeah, and and the big thing about all of these things that we're talking about, I mean, if you keep it to yourself, well, you're not going to get any cash in the door. So,
exactly.
We have to share it. Share it on Facebook. Put it on your website. Put it in your newsletter if one's going out soon. Print up some in-salon flyers. Have them all around the salon. Use those flyers as bag stuffers. Like, really spread the word. Ask people to share. Ask all your staff to share it on Facebook. So if you don't ask,
you don't get.
You don't get. Exactly. So get it out there. So product. So here's our challenge for you. Go back to your salon, or if you're in your salon after this webinar, go look around.
Yeah, and get in your back room, for goodness sake.
Yeah, we'll talk about that as we go along.
Yes. Okay. I'll come back to that.
So here's another way. We're very shy about getting on the phone.
Oh, what is it with us?
I don't know. We're just very reticent about, picking up that phone. Everybody's just so into emailing these days that we forget. Pick up the darn phone.
Yeah, because, here is one of the things that we are definitely finding, and you can probably recognize this yourself, is that you no longer open every single email that you get. Our time is limited that we've got to spend on doing emails. So you quickly go down your list and you go, I don't really need to look at this now. I don't need to look at this now. I'll answer this one. But you never get back to the ones that you were going to look at. So we are spending that amount of time anymore on email. So the phone all of a sudden is this incredible opportunity to reach out one-on-one.
Yeah. So try a phone blitz. Get, a couple of you. If it's just you by yourself, easy to do. You can schedule your time yourself and get it done. If you have front desk staff, schedule one, take them away from the front desk and get them on the phone and give them some promotions to offer. And so get on the phone with your existing customers. Like, you can do a 2-for-1 offer. I really like doing added bonuses.
Yeah.
Because I like to, if they're phoning, they're going to have to pull it up in your system. So they're going to be able to pull up and see what kind of services they get. Offer them something else as an added bonus that they don't usually get. Because guess what? We want to hook them for as many different things as we can.
Right. And if they haven't tried something and you turn them on to it, then they're going to keep using that service from you all the time. And there's some really easy add-on services to offer people.
Yeah, there are some. Definitely. Again, just be creative. It's the time of year. You could do a great treatment, because a lot of people at this time of year, heat's coming on in the homes, their hair is a little flyaway,
it's getting dry out.
Yeah, there's so many different things. And I want you to think, if you have, let's say you're a salon that has 1,000 clients that you regularly see in a month. If all you can do is add $10 onto every single one of those clients, how much extra are you going to have, Aileen, at the end of the month?
Holy moly, it seems to me that would be $10,000.
Yeah. And I mean, if you are on your own, bring it right down. If you see 100 clients in a month, which is an average, if you work full time, if you see 100 clients and you can add just $10 onto each one of those clients,
that's $1,000 extra dollars that you didn't have,
that you haven't had to work all that hard for.
And look, let's give you just a real quick idea right now. Like, if you get on the phone, because I love the idea of, with the cold weather, and you phone someone up and say, like, Catherine, it's Aileen at XYZ, and I know that with the changing weather, knowing your hair as well as I do, you're going to probably need an extra, a special treatment, and I want to do something just special just for you. And here's what it is.
And I mean, we do these all the time, and what we normally charge $25 for, we may put on for $10 because we know it really doesn't take any more time, a few more minutes, but it's well worth it for us, because if I can raise every single client that walks in my door, if I can raise their average ticket by $10, I'm laughing all the way to the bank.
And is that not extra cash in your pocket?
Totally.
Totally.
So think about that. And I just want to go back because Catherine, thank you, Catherine, for answering that question I had about the gift certificates. And she said, we've done a promo for gift certificates. Buy a $25 gift card and redeem it for $50.
Whoa, I love that.
Which is, in essence, 2 for 1.
Yeah.
And that's great. I just like to caution everybody that that's a lot to give away. If you put a specific number on it, I think you can do that.
Again, Catherine, it's because of the scarcity. Yeah, exactly, but we did limit it. Perfect. You got it.
Yes, that's good. As long as I know you limit it, because I have seen it backfire on a couple of people.
Yeah. We should do a whole webinar on coupons and Groupons and all those things.
Yes,
one
for
day.
sure.
How to make them work.
Yeah, so added bonuses, put a special package together with things that they might like, and get on the phone and really be aggressive with what it is that you're offering, because, and again, limited time offer.
Yeah.
Limited time offer, limited time to come in and utilize it.
I know we're talking today about, adding cash, right, to our system, but this is also a great way when you look ahead on your calendar and all of a sudden see that you've got a whole bunch of empty spaces. Mm-hmm. Get on the phone. Yeah. Let's not waste time.
I see so many people just kind of sitting there waiting for, the busy bus to stop outside the door. You have to create the busy bus.
Yes. Who's driving it?
Yeah.
Guess what? You are.
So, create your own busy bus, and that's what this is about today. And then, I actually really like postcards. And, it's such an affordable and easy thing to do. I'm not sure if Vagaro offers postcards. Maybe Susie can answer that for me if she's still listening. But it can be so simple just to do a postcard. And the idea that I want to share with you today is on your Vagaro system, you can definitely find out who the top 20% of your customers are. Mail them out an offer, but instead of mailing them out an offer, I would mail them and get them to call in for a special offer. So, tell them, for instance, that, they're one of your most valued clients, and because of this, you would love to offer them something special. Call into the salon, and their special offer will be waiting for them. Make
sure that they know that it is for a select group only. It isn't for everybody. It's for a select group, because everybody likes to feel that they special. Yes. And I would actually really respond to that.
Me too, because I like to feel special.
I do.
Well, my nickname is Princess, so obviously I would feel special, so I would answer it.
Well, I won't tell you what my nickname is, but
and another story I will share, and talk about being feeling special. What we did or we've done in the past is just before Christmas or a month before Christmas, we've mailed to our top 20% of our clients. We have mailed them a gift certificate to give to a friend. And
I think that's a brilliant idea.
So basically we say, allow us to help you with your Christmas shopping. Please feel free to give this to a friend who has never been in our space before, blah, blah, blah. Man, did we get a lot of mileage out of that. People were like, oh, thank you so much. Now, did we have a couple of clients try and use it for themselves? Yes, we did. What did I say to my front desk? They are our valued customers. If that's what they choose to do with it, do not argue with them.
Exactly, because we want them to feel special.
But of all the people that we sent it out to, I think we only had 2 or 3 that really tried to use it on themselves. But we did get a lot of new clients coming in our door.
Right.
So, again, it's just thinking outside the box and being a little bit different.
And trying to, and looking at building that cash right now, it's amazing the cash you also get for the future.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that really is a future business, but I just thought I would throw it in there because Christmas is coming after all. The holidays are coming.
Yes.
And then on the last bullet point I have on here is notice we said M-A-I-L.
Mail.
Mail these out.
Not email, mail. And the reason is again, earlier we said that people are not opening their email to the extent that they used to, but very few of us get a lot of hard mail. So we are far more likely to actually read the mail that we get.
Absolutely.
Because it's a treat to actually have something in the mail nowadays. Mm-hmm. But also, it doesn't have to be expensive.
Oh, no, the postcards are an inexpensive way to do this. And I mean, we want to talk, return on investment. If you send out 100 postcards and you, 100 postcards, let's say it costs you $125 to send out those 100 postcards.
So $1.25. $1.25
each.
Quarter each.
If you get 30 people spending an extra $25 with you,
holy smoly, is that worth a return on investment or what?
That's a really good return on investment, So you have to look at return on investment.
And it isn't just their initial investment either, because again, it's long-term value.
True. So Liz says, how might we find the top 20% of our clientele on Vagaro?
Susie?
Susie, if you could answer that, we'd be eternally grateful. I think you can do a search for
revenue.
Yeah,
revenue.
I can't remember exactly because it's not in front of me. So
Susie says it's under report.
It's under report. So
yeah.
There you go. So you can do that really, really easily. And having been a salon owner for many, many years, I need to tell you, I think it's really important for all of us, whether you are a single operator or whether you have multiple staff that you work with, you must know who your top 20% of your clients are. Please look after them because it's really hard to replace those clients.
Yeah, when you think about the dollars walking out the door when you lose a 20%er, it's huge.
Absolutely. All right, so moving right along.
Clean out the back room. We're going back to this again, aren't we? Because it's so invaluable. Well, Kath and I were talking about this, and we think about all the stuff that it ends up in the back room.
Oh my God. I have been in some back rooms of some salons that are not all that big, and I look at them and I go, well, you wonder where your money is. Here it is.
Remember that particular one we ran into earlier this summer?
Yeah.
It was pretty frightening. They must have had, I think there was only about 3 or 4 service providers in the salon, but they must have had 4 or 5 color lines. How many retail lines did we count?
Oh, I couldn't even count them all.
But I mean, this wasn't like a retail discount store or like a retail. No, it was just that it was everywhere, and it was dirty and.
But the big thing for me is, that guy could have bought himself a Jaguar.
Yeah, with the amount of money that he had
sitting on his shelf. But we all tend to stuff things away in places, and we're all surprised. I mean, it's no different than being at home, right? It's cleaning things out. So, we all dump all the stuff that was returned, last year's stock, dead inventory. Get it out, sell it. And here's a great way to sell it. Makeup mystery bags.
Oh, they are such an unbelievable, great little trick. If you want money by next week, do this because you will be amazed. People love a mystery. And I got to tell you, Cosmoprop Beauty, the beauty supply house, I'm sure you all know it. they do it on a regular basis. They have a big table. They pull out all this dead inventory and stick it into bags. And they have, I think they've got $5 bags, $10 bags, $20 bags.
Yeah.
And they fly off the tables. And I mean, think about it yourself when you've gone into a department store and, or a cosmetic place and they've got mystery bags.
I know, it's kind of fun to see what's in them.
It is.
I think it's a great way to clean out a lot of that stuff that we've got sitting there. So,
and
go out there, make up some mystery bags. I know that you all have enough stuff to make up enough mystery bags to put on a table that it will make an impact.
And there's a byproduct to that too, because in our discussion earlier about that, I asked you if you'd been doing it in your own salon, and you said, oh yeah, we used to do that years ago, but we are now so sharp on our inventory.
Well, we manage our inventory well.
Exactly. So, and I think that's a real key point, is that when you're doing your clear out and you realize how much dead stock you have, it twigs you. You start teaching yourself better management inventory or inventory management skills.
Yeah. Well, we notice the turns faster.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that we don't buy duds, because trust me, we do buy duds sometimes. We all do, and mystery bags may be something that we will, utilize again if we get to that point. But I think everybody should. It's kind of a fun thing,
Yeah.
It's amazing what people will buy, actually.
It is.
So, we've always said, if you have a box or a basket and it's like the $2 basket, like people fight over that darn stuff. It's amazing.
It's really fun. And talk about, this is the perfect time because people are looking for stocking stuffers and Christmas gifts. So they'll pick up these bags because they know they can use it as hostess gifts or stocking stuffers or all sorts of things. So teacher's presents. Get out there, get all that nasty stuff out of the back and start utilizing
Instant cash.
I love it.
All right. So all these ideas that we've talked about are great. But unless you market your butt off, they're not going to have the traction that they could have. So how do you charge for the mystery bag? Oh, I'm going to go back. So Let me backtrack. Kelly, so how do we charge for the mystery bag? So, $5, $10, $15, $20 maybe would be my max that I would have. And we just, I would recommend that you say in the $5 bags, you have a minimum of $15 worth of product. Yeah. So go up the line that way. And it's, it's just fun. Like you can throw a bunch of stuff in there that if you've got old polish, polish that hasn't moved and stuff like this.
And we all have that.
Yeah, those are all great things to put in there.
Yeah, and remember, one of the reasons that we don't do well in our industry with or with inventory management is because we think, oh gosh, I paid this for this. How could I possibly sell it for below cost?
Blow it out. It is doing you no good sitting on your shelf. If it sits on your shelf for more than 2 months, it's not doing you any good. It's costing you money every single day it sits there. Exactly. So let's talk about marketing, because you really need to get out there and put yourself out there. Use social media to get your message out there for any of these promotions, and do not be afraid to put it on Facebook every single day. And especially if you create scarcity, you can, go on Facebook every day and go, only so many of these promos left, only so many of these promos left. It actually drives people to come in and ask all your staff, all your friends, everybody to share with you.
We were talking about social media earlier, Catherine, and again, one of the things that we are often hear from our salon people is that they are afraid of overwhelming people with their Facebook posts. But here's the deal with Facebook: is not all your friends are on Facebook at the same time. So when you post, right? So if they're on in the morning and or if you post in the morning, they don't go on the evening, they may never even see that post.
That's right. So don't be afraid.
Don't be afraid.
Don't be shy. Really, do not be shy. Whether you do Twitter, Pinterest, Facebook, whatever you use to get your message out there, get it out there. And honestly, put flyers up you can print flyers really inexpensively, put it up in your space to let people know what's going on. I just want to answer this question that came in from Catherine. And she said, it doesn't do us any good. She's talking about retail now, either that they're selling stuff at retail locations like Rite Aid and Ulta. That hurts us a lot. Well, that is a whole other webinar because Aileen and I feel so strongly about that statement.
We feel your pain.
We do feel your pain. So we do have to do things to fight back.
Hey, maybe that's what we should do next month. How to beat that.
Yeah, that would be probably a good webinar to do that, we can talk about it. I mean, trust me, it is not going away.
No. So we have to look at doing something different, Catherine, and yes, we do have some ideas on that and how to fight it. So maybe if you send us an email, our email address is at the end, and maybe we could send you a couple of ideas.
But again, in your own business, it's all about what you're doing in your walls to be able to get your message out there. Now, one thing that I really like, I like to boost posts, and we use targeting for that. So, and especially in your local market, you can go on at the bottom, it says boost post, and then you can actually target some of the people that you want to. You can say that you want it in this area. You can target women between the ages of 20 and 40, or you can target women between the ages of 20 and 60. You can target men. There's so many ways you can target. So boost the post, and you can do it for as little as $10, $15, $20.
You pick the amount of money you want to spend,
and that's not per day. That's the amount of money that you spend for that particular
boost, right?
That particular post.
And I have to say, Catherine often boosts posts for us on the Profitable Salon Owner, and I am always blown away by the number of people that view our posts.
Yeah, and it's always interesting because we always have people that then go in and search us, and that's how a lot of our sales occur.
Yeah.
So I think we need to understand that using social media or doing an ad in social media is definitely a way for us to get our message out there for not a lot of money.
Yeah, so. and I know that, as you say, like $15 or $20 a week on a boosted post, you might be surprised at the amount of dollars that it actually generates into your business.
But the big thing is, remember, people, it doesn't matter what you do. Don't just do it once.
Yeah, do it over and over again, because the probably the most dreaded words we hear in the salon are, "Oh, we tried that and it didn't work."
Yeah, and they may have tried something once or a couple of times and it didn't work. So guess what? It stops people. Don't be one of those people that are stopped when something doesn't work. Just keep trying. You want to, make sure you're getting some return on your investment, but in social media, it's really about getting your message out there to more people. And even if they may not take you up on that offer, they may become aware of your location and decide to come in and visit you for something else. And we've seen that happen with a lot of our salons.
Yeah, because again, it's about recognition. Somebody who's a friend of so-and-so or whatever might see a shared boost from a friend, and then one day is looking for a new stylist or salon or spa or whatever, comes across your name and thinks, "Oh yes, that's where Judy went. I'm going to try it out." So it's amazing the layering that it actually ends up creating for you.
Yeah, and thank you, Jerry. Jerry says this is so informative.
Oh, thanks, Jerry.
We try hard. We're very passionate. You can probably tell we're very passionate about the salon and spa industry, and we really want to help owners and solo entrepreneurs. We want to help people be more profitable because we should be in this industry.
And you can tell we get a little excited.
Just a little bit. But we do have fun with it, and that's true. And that's the main thing, is have fun with it. So that's marketing. So make sure that you are not afraid to put yourself out there. So if somebody gets annoyed with you and takes you off, big deal.
Yeah.
You know, the majority of people are not going to do that.
Exactly.
And you can definitely, you know, we're not saying don't email out. You can definitely email out, and don't be afraid of that either. Just don't make a nuisance of yourself on email, because people tend to definitely unsubscribe if you send out too many messages on email.
Yeah.
But one a week
is okay.
Is okay.
And here's the most important thing, while we're on the subject of email, is what grabs people's attention is the subject line.
Yes. Yes.
So think very carefully about what you put in the subject line.
Yeah. Don't put the name of your salon or spa.
No.
You know, because that's not going to grab them. Save money now.
Yeah.
You know, they'll look at that and think, oh, what am I going to save money on?
Yeah.
They'll at least click it. You know, there's depending on what it is that you're putting out there, there's all kinds of ways that you can get people to click on that email. And that's really it, because a lot of salon and spas, I get their emails because I'm on their list, and it just says their name. And you think, yeah, why would I want to open this? There's nothing compelling in that.
No. So get creative. You're creative people.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, the flip side of bringing cash in
is, and we have talked about this numerous times, but we just wanted to, you know, kind of end up here, is it's great to bring money in, but then you need to know and understand, where are you bleeding money?
Exactly. Because if we're concerned about cash flow, it's not just about bringing the cash in, it's also about the cash that's going out. So what can we do within our businesses to hang on to the cash that we've got?
Right. Now, you know, the very first one, I always go, you know, as I was traveling across North America as a consultant, the first place I would go if they were losing money, inventory management, you know, and you've heard me say it before, I would take the salon owners by the hand and pull them over to their retail shelves and say, come visit your money.
Yes.
Because that's where it is. So,
that's so graphic, isn't it? It really is.
Well, it paints a picture really quickly.
Yeah.
So we've given you a lot of strategies today to look at and, you know, hone down that inventory. So again, if you are selling $2,000 worth of inventory every week, you know that you need to have that amount, about $2,500 worth in inventory sitting on the shelf at all times.
At all times.
At all times. So, you know, a little bit more than double. And I'm talking at our cost.
Yeah. And if you're moving $2,500 worth of inventory once a month, you do not need to have, you know, $100,000 worth of inventory sitting on the shelf.
Yeah. Definitely. So really look at your inventory management. I think that
number one.
You know, the little boy in Holland that stuck his finger in the hole.
Exactly.
When I look at inventory management, I often think of that little boy with his finger stuck in the hole, because it can start a massive flood in your business.
Exactly. Just as a quick rule of thumb, industry average for our industry is 6 turns a year. That means that you should be turning your inventory over 6 times a year. And that's just sort of a general rule of thumb. Okay. So it gives you an idea of how much you should have on your shelf.
Yeah. And, you know, I've put marketing on here because I think a lot of people don't understand marketing.
No, they tend to think of it as advertising.
Yeah. But in anything that you do, you need to have a return on investment.
Yes.
You know, and really, if you spend $1, you want to make sure that you're getting 3 back.
Exactly.
So 3 to 4 back, right? That's how I like to look at it. If I spend $1, I want 3 back.
So the reverse of that is to really take a look. What Catherine is saying here is that for every $1 that you spend on expenses, you need to be generating $3 worth of revenues to cover it off correctly.
Yeah. So if you can save $100 in expenses somewhere, you know, if you look at things today, tomorrow, that means that it's $300 in services that you don't have to bring in.
Here, here.
So it can be significant, trust me.
And what I mean by the marketing thing is, and advertising is I really want you to understand that the advertising expense is only one of the functions of your marketing department. So, but advertising can be the most expensive marketing tool you use, and sometimes the most unnecessary.
Well, we're talking about pretty pictures.
Yes.
We're talking about pretty pictures in publications that have no call to action and really get you nothing.
Exactly. There's no return on investment in it. So when Catherine and I look at marketing projects, et cetera, and advertising is one of the components that we need to look at. We want to take a look at what kind of return we're going to get back. We want to be able to measure what we're doing. So advertising, that component of marketing, is a real way that you could be bleeding money that you don't have to.
Yeah, for sure. So take a look at that and measure what it is that you're doing. And a way to measure anything that you do is to attach a code or a coupon to it. That tells you pretty quickly what you're getting in return for your investment.
Here, here.
So shipping, I'm going to let you talk about this, Aileen.
Oh, yes, I love shipping, although I'm very upset today. My luggage did not get shipped home with me from New York City, but anyways, that's a whole other story. Shipping. In the past, it has been, in our business, we have seen most of the distributors and manufacturer offer us free shipping, but that is no longer really a viable situation for us. And here's the thing that I always want to tell everybody is there's no such thing as a free lunch. If somebody is offering you free shipping, usually what they're doing is building their cost of shipping into the product they're shipping you. So you can either, get better pricing and pay for shipping, but however they do it, you must include the expense of shipping in the cost of your product. So for example, say you get a shipment of say $100, just because that's easy, right? And the cost of shipping was $10. And let's say there was 10 products in there. You're going to divide the number of products into that $110, and you'll realize that your products didn't cost you $10 each. They actually cost you $11.
So just
you have to recoup that cost.
I have a good story about that. So the other day, I was talking to a salon owner, and they were saying they knew that there was in order to get a flat rate shipping fee, they needed a week to come the slow way. They waited until the last minute. In fact, they waited one day too late to get the week flat rate shipping. They needed the product. The difference in shipping was almost $100.
I think it was actually $110.
Not quite. It was $100. It was about $98 difference.
Holy moly!
$98 difference on one. If they had only submitted the order one day earlier, that's $98. Now we know that they have to generate $300
to cover that.
Cover that. That is huge. So
just take a look. In the olden days, when I worked in luggage and leather goods, and we would order product, and these big shipments would come in from across the country, and our shipping costs would be thousands of dollars. So, really what we pay in our industry is pretty small.
Yeah, but you know what?
Still adds up.
As my grandmother said, look after the pennies and the dollars will look after themselves.
Yeah, well, she probably said pounds. Right?
She did say pounds, but that's all right. And then, costs like telephone, just have a look at your telephone costs and make sure that you're,
there's so many competitive offers out there right now. Just take a look at it.
And the other thing is staff. Please, 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 if you have staff, make sure that you're looking at the schedule on a regular basis. Make sure that you are scheduling wisely, because if you look at your staff, if you save, if somebody's there an extra 2 hours and they don't need to be, and you're paying them $15 an hour, there's $30, but it's not just the $30, it's the other things that we have to pay on top of that. So even if it's $40, that adds up over time.
Yeah, and again,
and it's exponential.
You can use your Vagaro system to check your productivity ratios to make sure that you're generating enough dollars out of every station or treatment room that you have. So, because that's really big, wasting staff.
Yeah, so be very careful. And the one I love is I like to always check my interest rates with my bank, and I like to go shopping. And I'm telling you, once a year, I revisit this. Interest rates, insurance costs, all of those things. It's worth your time once a year to revisit them. Doesn't matter how small you are, you can actually go and negotiate with your bank.
Please do that. I think that we've all got that sort of thing. Ooh, the bank. They never make mistakes. They're always right. I call bullshit. Talk to them on a regular basis. Negotiate.
So where do you think your pot of gold is?
Ta-da!
I think it's right in front of you. I think it's in your computer. I think it's on your retail shelves, and I think it's in your back room. And so really, this is all about what are you waiting for? Go find it. Because that simply, you must have some action. You can listen to this webinar all you want, but if you don't get off this webinar and actually put one or two things into action,
it's not going to make a difference.
Yeah. And every single one of you listening out there, there is something in this webinar that will bring you in more money.
Absolutely. So what are you waiting for? Go find it.
So we hope you enjoyed what you heard today. We certainly had fun
doing it,
being there.
And here we are. We are www.theprofitablesalonowner.com. And our email address is info@theprofitablesalonowner.com. And as we said earlier, if you send us an email, we will then have a record of your email address, and we will send you back a copy of this presentation. And we are just so grateful that you came aboard to listen to us today. As I said, Susie also posts this again, so you can re-listen to it at another time. And again, thank you, Susie, for your technical backup. We're so grateful. Hope you're feeling better.
And if anybody would like any notes of this meeting, please just email us. Don't put it on the chat line at the chat column at the side. Email us at info@theprofitablesalonowner.
Thank you, everybody, for being here, and we will see you next month. Or we won't see you, we'll be chatting to you next month. Bye-bye.
Take care.